Hello, today I'm talking about feminism and gender theory. It is written by Tyson. Okay, and what is feminism? Before starting feminism, I would like to give you the information that feminism means seeking the rights of female. Women are suppressed, oppressed. They are not given equal rights. They are to be empowered for equal rights and equal opportunity to men. So that is it is not only female who becomes a feminist. It is also a man who writes about females' right becomes a feminist, right? And gender studies means gender inequality. Feminism and gender are related terms. Gender covers both male and female. Feminism covers only females' ideas, right? Okay, so there is a saying, I'm not a feminist, I like men. That is what the writer says. I'm not a feminist, but I like men. I'm not a feminist. I think women should be able to stay at home and raise children if they want to. That is another idea. It is not feminist. If anyone likes men, and that is not feminist. And this is patriarchal system, patriarchal ideology. I'm not a feminist. I think women should be able to stay at home. That is patriarchy things, male dominated society things, and raise the children if they want to. I'm not a feminist. I wear a bra. Means that is another one. Not a feminist, but I wear a bra. Even though I'm a female, even though I wear bra, I'm not a feminist. That is another idea, right? So many feminists like men. It doesn't mean that feminists do not like men. They like men too. Think that women should be able to stay at home and raise children if they want to do so and wear bras. This is a new idea. Wear bras and then live at home and just take care of the children and bring up them. That is what women are supposed to be in the under dominated society of patriarchal system. Feminist criticism examines the ways in which literature and other cultural productions reinforces or undermines the economic, political, social, and psychological oppression of women. That means feminism always talks about the female's issues. Women are suppressed, economically oppressed, politically excluded, socially oppressed, psychologically suppressed. They are not given equal rights. That type of ideology is always found in the principle, in the field of feminism. People believe that feminists should just concentrate on getting women an equal crack and forget all the nonsense about pronouns like he for both men and women. And people even think that feminists should concentrate on getting women's equal position, women's equal condition, and forget about other nonsense, unnecessary argument of using pronouns like he that covers both male and female. It means if women get equal rights, if they are given equal opportunity to men, and why to bother about the use of the pronouns like he to cover both male and female? Ignore them, just forget about them. And if there is equality, if there is equal chance for women, that is what people's belief is there. In other words, although the inclusive he claims to represent both men and women, in reality it is a part of a deeply rooted cultural attitude that ignores women's experiences and blinds also to women's points of view. That means using pronoun he means that is socially constructed, culturally constructed reality, and ignoring women's experiences and blinding the women's point of view and just bringing males opportunities, males point of view, males dominated ideas. For example, before the centuries-old struggle for women's equality finally emerged in literary studies in the late 1960s, the literary works of white male authors describing experience from a white male point of view was considered the standard of universality. But they ignore the female's black experience, right? Because the works of white female authors and of all authors of color do not describe experience from a white male point of view. That means if only white female talks about the white's right, white's voice, and if female is giving importance to the condition of women, of the white women, and then what about females who are Negro, who are black, who are Afro-American, who are discriminated, and that cannot become main point. So they were not considered universal, right? And hence did not become a part of literary canon. Why literary canon, literary theory it did not become? Because white female talked about their women's experience only from the point of view of the white, not from the point of view of the Afro-American, non-white. And then as a result, it did not become universal literary canon, universal literary theory, right? It is interesting to note that popularity was not necessarily considered evidence of universality. For many women writers who enjoyed widespread female fame during their lives were not canonized in literary histories. They were not canonized. Even when white women authors began to appear more frequently in the canon and on college syllabi in the mid-1970s, they were not represented on an equal basis with white male authors, right? The female characters, not male, are the objects gazed on by the camera and often eroticized. Not male, only female characters are gazed by the camera, presented through the camera. And eroticized means they are sexualized, right? As if male eye were viewing them, male's eyes, right? As if the point of view of the universal moviegoer were male. That is what the concept, right? So it is thought female are always to be observed, always to be gazed on, always to be looked and eroticized, and they are to be given importance. And male's eyes are there always to look at the female, but not the male. Perhaps the most salient example of the damaging effects of this habit of seeing is found in the world of modern medicine. Very good example the writer has brought about the modern medicine, where drugs prescribed for both sexes often have been tested on male subjects only. See how experiment is carried out in the world of modern medicine. Exactly, the drugs are to be tested, they are to be experimented, and the experiment is done only on male subjects, not to the female. And when it is done for the male subjects, in the same medicine, drug, modern medicine, tested, experimented in the body of the male is applied even to the body of the female. And it is not given importance that either female's body digests or accepts or becomes suitable for that medicine or not. This is a discrimination. That is what feminist talks about. In other words, in laboratory tests to determine the safety of prescription drugs before marketing them, men's responses frequently have been used to gather statistical data on the medication's effectiveness and possible side effects, right? Only possible side effects of the male that is searched, that is asked, but not female side effects. And female's body may or may not become suitable for that medicine, only responded by the experiment or test carried out on the body of the male. That is what is the difference. As a result, women may experience unexpected side effects, while male users are unaffected. The same medicine may be unaffected for the male's body, but it may affect to the female's body, right? So how could medical scientists have had could not medical scientists not have anticipated this problem? This is what the writer talks about. Wow, could medical scientists also did not think about this problem of just not testing or experimenting the medicine in the body of the female? Surely the cultural habit of seeing male experience as universal played a role. This is a cultural habit, right? Seeing male experience as universal played a cultural role. That is a cultural habit, right? Traditional gender rules now. Tyson considered herself, as recovering patriarchal woman. She thought herself she was the patriarchal woman. She was there in this patriarchal world. She is almost habituated to live, to adjust herself in the patriarchal society. By patriarchal woman, she means a woman who has internalized the norms and values of patriarchy, which can be defined in short as any culture that privileges men by promoting traditional gender roles, right? Promoting traditional gender roles means male becoming superior. Traditional gender rules cast men as rational. See, this is a traditional rule. In traditional gender rules, men are regarded as rational. They are regarded as strong. They are regarded protective. They are regarded decisive. They are strong. They are powerful. They are able to face any sort of problems. That is what traditional gender rule gives. They cast women as emotional, irrational, weak, nurturing, and submissive. That sort of traditional gender rule is given them. These gender rules have been used very successfully to justify inequalities. That is inequalities. Because women are supposed to be emotional. They are supposed to be rational. They are supposed to be weak. They are supposed to be submissive. They are only nurturing for the children. They take care of the children. They live at home. They do not go outside. They work for the children. They can take care of the children and the old people, family members in the house. That is a traditional rule of inequalities. That justifies inequalities, which still occur today. Even today, that sort of situation is there, such as excluding women from equal access to leadership. Right? Women are not getting leadership, equal access, equal opportunity to leadership, and decision-making positions they are not getting enough. In the family as well as in politics, right? In academia and in corporate world. That means even in family, woman does not get opportunity to have the decision-making position, and in politics she does not get equal participation. In academia, means in many universities, in schools, women do not get opportunity to become the head of the universities and schools in academia. And in even corporate world, she is less regarded as insufficient, incapable of handling the problem, and woman does not get higher position. And paying men higher wages than women for doing the same job. See, even women and men are working in the same place, in the same job, but women get lower wages. Male get higher wages. That is inequalities. If women are even able to obtain the job, women generally do not obtain the job. They do not get the job. Even if they get the job, they are able to obtain the job, and they are given less salaries, less wages in comparison to the men. And convincing women that they are not fit for careers in such areas as mathematics and engineering. Women are convinced that mathematics and engineering are not their subjects. They are not capable enough to solve the problem of mathematics and engineering. Right? So it is thought that mathematics is only for male, engineering is only for male, right? And it is not for female. That is the inequalities. Many people today believe such inequalities are a thing of the past because anti-discriminatory laws have been passed. Today, many people think it was the story of the past. but not at present, because there is anti-discriminatory laws. There are laws. These laws have been passed, such as the law that guarantees women equal pay for equal work. So many people think that this inequalities of having higher wages for male than to female was the story of the past. That is what present people think. Many people think. But even though laws are passed there, such conditions, such practical life experiences have been going on and on. They are invisible. That sort of condition is not seen. But in reality, the practice is going on. For example, an employer can pay a woman less for performing the same work as a man, or for doing more work than a man, simply by giving her a different job title. Maybe even in present world, job title is given different, and maybe she is working in the same job. Maybe her quality is the same to men. Maybe she is equally capable like that of the male. Maybe she is doing better work, but she is paid less, right? In the same job as man is doing. Why? Because he is given a different title, job title, and that is confined. Because of that job title, she has got less job, less salary, right? Less wages. That is what the practical activities are going on in the different parts of the world, though laws have been passed. So women still are paid roughly between 55 and 80 cents, depending on their ethnicity and age, for every dollar earned by men. See, but patriarchy is by definition sexist, which means it promotes that the belief that women are innately inferior to men. It gives the concept that women are by birth, means inborn, right, innate quality. By birth they are just weak. They are inferior. They are not just equal to men. That's why they are given less payment. That's why they are less focused in each and every activities of life, and they have the inequalities. This belief in the inborn inferiority of women is a form of what is called biological essentialism. Maybe biologically they are inferior, maybe biologically they are weak, maybe biologically they are different, because it is based on biological differences between the sexes that are considered part of our unchanging essence is men and women, that we cannot change the biological position of the men and women. Women and men would be physically different, right? But even though it is not possible to change, it is not so. A striking illustration is the word hysteria. There is a word hysteria, which derives from the Greek word for womb, that is hysteria, and refers to psychological disorders deemed peculiar to women and characterized by over-emotional, extremely irrational behavior. That is hysteria. So hysteria is a term especially used for women, and it is not used for men. Hysteria means extremely irrational behavior, right? Over emotional behavior, disorder, psychological disorder caused through the sexual desires, right? That is hysteria. That is what is given to the women. Feminists do not deny the biological differences between men and women, but many feminists celebrate those differences. They enjoy even that differences. It is because of biological differences, women have greater opportunity to just enjoy. Their enjoyment is better than the men. That is what feminists think. But they do not agree that such differences as physical size, shape, and body chemistry make men naturally superior to women. But feminists never agree. They do not believe. They do not come to the agreement that the biological differences like physical size, shape, and body chemistry can make women inferior and men superior. That is the difference. Even though men are biologically different through the size, through the shape, and body chemistry, maybe they are different, but they are not just superior to women, right? For example, more intelligent, more logical, more courageous, or better leaders. That is what maybe even women, not only men. Feminism therefore distinguishes between the word sex, which refers to our biological constitutions as female or male, and the word gender, which refers to our cultural programming as feminine or masculine. There are the two words, feminine words and masculine words. Feminine is used for female, masculine is used for male. In other words, women are not born feminine, that is the idea. Women are not weak by birth. They are not women by birth. They are not over emotional by birth. And men are not born masculine, means powerful, strong, and just aggressive by birth. It is the society, it is the culture that has brought the differences, right? Rather, these gender categories are constructed by society. See there, this is the construction of the society. This is not the inborn differences, right? Which is why this view of gender is an example of what has come to be called social constructionism. This is called social constructionism. The inferior position long occupied by women in patriarchal society has been culturally, not biologically produced. This is culturally produced, right? Patriarchal society has produced women's position weaker, inferior, but not culturally. It is produced. It is biologically produced, right? Culture is the mean to bring the differences. For example, it is a patriarchal assumption rather than a fact that more women than men suffer from hysteria. It is patriarchal assumption, belief. Women suffer from hysteria. More women suffer from hysteria than men, but nobody knows. The investigation has not been done, experiment has not been done, right? It is only the philosophical idea. They say it is patriarchal belief, patriarchal assumption. Women suffer from hysteria more than the men. That is what is the belief. But because it has been defined as a female problem, it is defined as female problem. Hysterical behavior is in men won't be diagnosed as such. It has not been diagnosed. It has not been just explored either. Male also do suffer from hysterical behavior or not. Maybe there is also hysteria for men, but it is not diagnosed. Instead, it will be ignored or given another less damaging name. For example, shortness of temper. For men, it is given shortness of temper. For women, it is given hysteria. If she is angry, if she is emotional, if she is extremely different in her behaviors, and it is called hysteria, suffering from, right, the disease to the women. But for men, the same term is given shortness of temper and just like a quick temper. Of course, not all men accept patriarchal ideology. Maybe all men may not accept that, right? And those who do not believe, for example, that because men generally have been endowed, means given by nature, with stronger muscles. By nature, men have got stronger muscles. They have been endowed, means given with any other natural superiority, are often derided by both patriarchal men and women as weak and unmanly, as if the only way to be a man was to be a patriarchal man. Maybe it is the concept. Patriarchal ideology believes that men are given, men have been given, men have been endowed, that is given by nature, by the God, stronger muscles, powerful muscles, so they are superior, so they are strong. That is what is belief in traditional gender roles. Women are oppressed by traditional gender roles. They are oppressed, they are suppressed by traditional gender roles. Patriarchy continually exerts forces that undermine women's self-confidence and assertiveness, then points to the absence of these qualities as proof that women are naturally and therefore correctly self-effacing and submissive. Women are naturally self-effacing and submissive. That is what is believed. To cite an example of patriarchal programming, little girls have been told early in their educational careers that they cannot do math. This is what is the teaching academical position to the women. Difference is brought in practical field. Girls are told, they have been told in their early age of educational careers that they cannot do math, and they are psychologically discouraged. They are psychologically just spoiled, and they cannot come to the confidence that they are good in mathematics, is good as to the mean, right? If not told so explicitly in words by parents, teachers, and friends, they are told so by the body language. Even if the parents, teachers, and other people do not say, just teachers, friends do not say with the words, there is physical gestures, body language is there to tell them they are weak in mathematics. They cannot do mathematics. Tone of voice is there that female cannot do better in mathematics. Facial expressions of adults and peers means friends, they feel that mathematics is not for girl, mathematics is not possible for women, because it is often assumed that little girls cannot do math, and furthermore that this deficiency does not really matter, because most of them won't need math in their later life. It is said most of the women do not need mathematics in their later life. So what is the matter? What is the meaning? What is the use of that math? They are told, they are instructed, they are guided. Girls are not called on by the teacher as frequently as boys to perform mathematical operations, right? And only boys are there asked to do the mathematical operations. Mathematically, boys are supposed to be stronger, better, right? Intelligent, more intelligent than the girls. It is a wrong concept. It is a social construct. It is a traditional gender roles. In fact, girls are often rewarded for failing at math, even if they fail, and they are not just asked, they are not punished, they are not taken seriously as a failure. It is just thought that they are rewarded, that they are doing good. They receive a ready-made sympathy, courtling, and all the debilitating, though enticing pay-ups for being feminine. You are female, that's why you fail math. You are not man, that's why you are not good in math. This sort of sympathy, this sort of idea is there to the women. If girls manage to do well in math, despite these obstacles, they are considered exceptions to the rules. If they do better, and they are considered that is an exception to the rules, right? In short, girls are programmed to fail in mathematics. They are programmed to fail in, engineering. Then the patriarchal mindset points to girls' lower test scores in math, and their failure to become math major as proof that they are biologically ill-suited to mathematical studies, right? They are biologically not suited. They are ill-suited for mathematical studies, which, given the close relationship between math and logic, suggests that females are less logical than males. Again, logic is also not for female. It is only for male. Better logic comes from the men than from the women, is the traditional concept, traditional belief, traditional thought. But it is not so. In other words, patriarchy creates a failure that it then uses to justify its assumption about women. Patriarchy is always there to make the women failure, not to make the women equal to men, right? Patriarchal gender rules are destructive for men as well as for women. It is destructive for both male as well as women. For example, because traditional gender rules dictate that men are supposed to be strong, physically powerful, and emotionally stoic. That is traditional gender rule. Traditional gender rule gives the concept that male are physically strong, they are powerful, they are emotionally controlled, they are not is that of female, right? They are not supposed to cry. Boys are not supposed to cry. Men are not supposed to cry, because crying is considered as a sign of weakness. And crying is considered as a sign of women. Crying is considered as a sign of female's quality. A sign that one has been overpowered by one's emotions. That crying means overpowered by emotions, weak by emotion, right? It is considered unmanly for men to show fear or pain or to express their sympathy for other men. This is thought. It is considered that it is not manly. It is unmanly for women, for men, and it is unmanly to show fear, to show pain, or to express sympathy by men to other men, right? So there should be no sympathy, no pain, expression of just pain, no just show of fear in the life of men. Men should be always strong, not just having the reflection of pain and fear. No sympathy to receive from others and to give even to others. Only it is expressing pain, showing fear, gaining sympathy is only for women, only for female, not for men. This is a traditional concept, right? Expressing sympathy or any loving feeling for other men is especially taboo, right? It is banned because patriarchy assumes that only the most mute and stoic forms of male bonding are free of homosexual overtones. In addition, men are not permitted to fail at anything they try because failure in any domain implies failure in one's manhood. Failure means men should not fail. That is the principle. If man fails and he is not a man, there is no manhood. That is not the quality of man. If man fails in anything, and his failure is the failure of his manhood, failure of patriarchy, failure of male's quality, and that does not have male's quality, that man does have the female's quality, female's characteristics. That's why he fails. That is the concept. Failure to provide adequate economic support for one's family is considered the most humiliating failure a man can experience. If a man fails, and it is humiliation, this is humiliating failure that he has to experience, because it means that he has failed at what is considered his biological role as provider. Biologically he should not be failure. If he fails, that is same. That is humiliating. That is not considered common failure, right? The imperative for men to succeed economically has become an extremely pressurized situation in contemporary America because the degree of success men are expected to achieve keeps increasing. To be a real man in this day and age, one must have a more expensive house, one must have a more expensive car than one's father, than just like siblings, and then friends. And one must send one's children to a more expensive school. That means if a man is a real man, and he must have a more expensive car, he must have more expensive house than his own father, than his own friends, than his own siblings, and he must send his children in a more expensive school. If he cannot do so, and he is not a man, he is not a successful man, he is not powerful man, he is not economically strong man, he is very weak man, right? So pressure is there for men in America, to be more just successful, means to have more expensive house and to have more expensive car than his own father, than his siblings and his friends, and to have his children sent in a more expensive school than other people, than his friends and then siblings and relatives, and then only he becomes a man. If men cannot achieve the unrealistic economic goals set for them in contemporary America, then they must increase the sign of their manhood in some other area. If they do not become successful, if they are not rich enough, if they do not have more expensive house, if they do not have more expensive car than their own parents, fathers and siblings and friends, and if they cannot send their children in a more expensive school, and then they must have extra sign, and those signs are to show manhood are just they must sexually active. They must be powerful sexually, or make others believe that they are sexually active, and they must be able to hold the must liquor, means they must be able to drink a lot, or display the must anger. If a man is presented more active in sexual activities, if he is presented as more drunkard, who drinks a lot, and if that person is displayed with must anger, aggressive nature, and that is also called man, having a quality of manhood, suitable to be man, otherwise is not suitable. Anger and other violent emotions are the only emotions permitted to men, even encouraged in men, for anger is a very effective means of blocking out fear and pain. That is the idea. If the person becomes angry, and fear and pain are blocked, which are not permitted for men, anger usually produces the kind of aggressive behaviors associated with patriarchal manhood, right? That would be associated with patriarchal manhood. All the behaviors forbidden to men are considered womanist. If they just do not become strong, powerful, they are called woman. That is inferior. They should not become inferior. They should not become, should not have beneath the dignity of manhood. They should be always strong, powerful, active, sexually active, and just drinking a lot, having strong debate, right? Maybe powerful enough, always, right? Great muscle. That is what superior quality of men. Men, even little boys cannot cry, right? Who cry are called sissies. If they cry, they are called sissies. Sissy sounds very much like sister, and it means cowardly. It means feminine. Two words that in this context are synonyms. Man is a sissy, feminine, cowardly, weak, useless. One of the most devastating verbal attacks to which a man can be subjected is to be compared to a woman. If that man is equal to this woman, very just close to the qualities of woman, and that is okay. And scolding and attacking to the man means okay, hey woman, you are woman. That means the great same. If somebody calls a man woman, that is the same. That is attack, verbal attack. That is irony. That is devastating attack. The man is not supposed to be a man at that time if he is called woman. This is what the gender role says, right? Homosexuality is included on the list of feminine behaviors, at least for American men, because despite the plentiful example of very masculine homosexual men, the American stereotype of the homosexual male is extremely feminine one. The patriarchal concept of femininity, which is linked to fertility, frailty, weakness, modesty, that is okay. Female means weak, modest, timidity. This empowers women in the real world. Female are called frail, weak. Female are called just okay, almost modest, and female are called just timid, and that is what that disempowers women, right? It is not feminine to succeed in business. Female do not become successful in business. That is another idea. To be extremely intelligent, to earn big bucks means big money, and to have strong opinions, to have a healthy appetite for anything, or to assert one's rights means that is a female's quality. Only men can earn money. Only men can become rich. Only men can run the business. Only men can have strong opinions. Only men can have healthy appetite. These principles are the principles of ideology, or male-dominated principle, or patriarchy. Right? Women are supposed that they are not good business women. They are not more intelligent. They are not able to earn big money, bucks. Right? They do not have the power to have strong opinions. They are not strongly healthy appetite. They do have. That is what they are women. The good girls and bad girls concept deserves more attention because it is another way in which sexist ideology continues to influence women. There are the concept of good girl and bad girl, but there is no concept of good boy and bad boy. Patriarchal ideology suggests that there are only two identities a woman can have. That is, if she accepts her traditional gender role and obeys the patriarchal rules, she is a good girl. And if she does not, she is a bad girl. If she accepts, if she follows, if she goes to the traditional gender rules, and she is good girl. If she refuses, if she challenges the traditional gender rules, and she is called bad girls. Though these two roles also refer as the Madonna and whore or angel and bitch. Madonna is good for a good girl. Angel is good, is the sign of good girl. Whore, that is a prostitute, that is a prostitute. And bitch, that is a scolding word, that is a bad girl. Which women only in terms of how they relate to the patriarchal order. If they obey the patriarchal order, they are called Madonna. If they obey the patriarchal system, they are called angel of the house. If they disobey, they are called whore. They are called bitch. They are bad girls. Right? Of course, how good girls and bad girls are specifically defined will alter somewhat according to the time and place in which they live. But it is patriarchy that will do the defining because both rules are projection of patriarchal male desire. For example, the desire to own valuable women suited to be wives and mothers. Valuable women are suited to be wives of somebody else, suited to be mothers. But those who are not valuable, they are not suited to be mothers and wives. It is the desire to control women's sexuality so that men's sexuality cannot be threatened in any way, and the desire to dominate in all financial matters. Right? The bad girls violate patriarchal sexual norms in some way. They are sexually forward, bad girls, in appearance or behavior. They have multiple sexual partners, they are bad girls. Men sleep with bad girls, but they do not marry them. Right? Men go with the just prostitutes. They sleep with bad girls, but they never become ready to marry with the bad girls. Bad girls are used and then discarded. They are thrown because they do not deserve better and they probably do not even expect better position, right? They are not good enough to bear a man's name or his legitimate children. That rule is appropriate only for properly submissive good girls. To become mother, to become wife is only for submissive good girl, woman. A good girl is rewarded for her behavior by being placed on pedestal by patriarchal culture. They are rewarded, and bad girls are not rewarded. To her are attributed all the virtues associated with the patriarchal femininity and domesticity. She is modest, she is unassuming, she is self-sacrificing, she is nurturing, she is over-caring, she is submissive, she is helpful, she is honest. That is called good girls. She has no needs for her own life. That is a good girl. If her means because she is completely satisfied by serving her family members. That is a good girl. She serves children. She serves her husband. She serves other family members, and she is satisfied. She has to be satisfied. That is called good girl. That is called good woman. At times, she may be sad about the problems of others, and she frequently worries about those in her care, but she is never angry. Good girl is never angry. Good girl never becomes serious about her own life. She is serious about only for family members, serious about only for her husband, serious for others, but not serious for her own life. In Victorian culture in England, she had the angel in the house, right? In Victorian culture, it was said she was the angel in the house. She was not said, right? She was not good, but because she obeyed the traditional system, traditional gender rules, and patriarchal rules, and she was called angel in the house. She made the home a safe heaven for her husband. That's why angel in the house. where he could spiritually fortify himself before reassuming the daily struggles of the workplace. And for our children, where they could receive the moral guidance needed to eventually assume their own traditional roles in the adult world. Right? For example, to remain on her Victorian pedestal, the good girl had to remain uninterested in sexual activity. Good girl means no interest in sexual activity, except for the purpose of legitimate product procreation. Means she must be ready only for the production of the children in sexual activities. She must be ready. Otherwise, no sex, just sexually, just active. That is a good girl. Because it was believed unnatural for women to have a sexual desire. It is the belief. Women should not have sexual desire. Only men should have sexual desire. If women believes or she has a sexual desire and it is supposed to be bad girl, right? That is, she is not expected to have sexual desire. If she desires, it is unnatural. In fact, good women were expected to find sex frightening or disgusting. Sex must be frightening, disgusting for good women. Only for bad girls, sex is almost desired, expected. At worst, she suffers physical punishment from the community or from her husband. If she desires sex, if she goes with other men, if she has multiple partners, sexual partners, and she is punished by the society, she is punished by the community, she is punished by the husband, right? Patriarchy objectifies both bad girls and good girls. They are objects. They are not really the human beings. In upward mobile, middle-class American culture today, the woman on the pedestal is the woman who successfully juggles a career and a family, which means she looks great at the office and over the breakfast table, and she is never too tired after work to fix dinner, clean house, attend to all her children's need, and please her husband in bed. That means in American society, even today, a woman who is moving upward, who is going upward, is to be good in her office. She should be smart in her office. She should look great at her office. She should be smart in her breakfast table. She is never tired. That is what she has to present herself, even if she is tired. And she has to fix dinner. She has to clean the house. She has to attend all her children's need. She has to please even her husband in the bed. This is what the feminist characteristics that she has to carry out on the ground of patriarchal system. Right? In other words, patriarchal gender roles have not been eliminated by modern women's entrance into the male-dominated workplace. That means still patriarchal gender roles have been carried out by just upward moving women in America. Even if some of those women now hold what used to be traditionally male jobs, they are still following the patriarchal gender roles, right? Traditional gender roles. Because she's good at work, great at office, smart in breakfast table, and never seems to be tired in her work, and she fixes dinner, she cleans the houses, she attends all the children's need, and even pleases her husband in the bed. That is still the traditional gender role she's carrying out even in modern American society, who is moving upward. We use the negative word slut to describe a woman. Slut means whore, prostitute, who sleeps with a number of men, while we use the positive word stud, that is positive word strong, to describe a man who sleeps with a number of women. A man who sleeps with a number of women is called strong, powerful, great, successful man, because he has become able to victimize, able to have the sexual relationship with large number of women. That is his great quality. That is his positive quality. That is what is used for men. But at the same time, the woman who has sexual multiple partners and who sleeps with number of male members, she is negatively judged and she is said slut, she is a prostitute, she is a whore, she is not good girl, she is bad girl. But man is a good boy because he has a good quality to have multiple sexual partners. He has displayed large number of women to have the sexually satisfied and is sexually active. That is a male's quality, right? And though women's fashions have radically changed since the 19th century, the most feminine clothing still promotes patriarchal ideology. Still patriarchal ideology is going on. For example, the extremely tight corsets worn by 19th century women prevented them from getting enough oxygen to be physically active or experience emotion without getting the vapors. Shortness of breath, slight fits of fainting, which were considered very feminine and proved that women were too fragile and emotional to participate in men's world. That was a traditional concept and it is still not allowed. Analogously, one of the most feminine styles of clothing for today's woman is the tight skirt and high heels, which create a kind of feminine walk, symbolically akin both to the restrained, means controlled physical capability imposed by 19th century women's clothing and to the male sexual access to women's bodies such as attire allows. That is the position, right? So what is the summary of feminist premises? One point is women are oppressed, that is a feminist idea, right, by patriarchy, economically, politically, socially and psychologically. Psychologically women are oppressed, economically they are oppressed, suppressed, socially they are oppressed, right? Politically they are oppressed. Patriarchal ideology is the primary means by which they are kept. So it is because of patriarchal ideology they are suppressed, oppressed psychologically, politically, socially, right, economically, and they are helpless. This is first must point of feminist ideology. In every domain where patriarchy reigns, woman is other, woman is regarded as other. She is objectified, she is marginalized, she is not in the power, she is not in the mainstream, she is not in the position. She is not subject, she is object. Defined only by her difference from male norms and values, defined by what she alleged lacks and that men alleged have, right? Third, all of Western Anglo-European civilization is deeply rooted in patriarchal ideology, as we see. For example, in the numerous patriarchal women and female monsters of Greek and Roman literature and mythology, the patriarchal interpretation of the biblical Eve is always taken as the sign, as a character of weakness, is the origin of sin. She is the just like a cause of the origin of sin and death, sin and death in the world. The representation of the woman as a non-rational creature by traditional Western philosophy. Non-rational, women are supposed to be non-rational, like Eve, who was the cause, origin of the sin and the death for human beings. And the reliance on phallocentric thinking. There is a phallocentric thinking means thinking that is male-oriented in its vocabulary, rules of logic, criteria for what is considered objective knowledge is always male-oriented, not female-oriented. By educational, political, legal and business institution, there is always phallocentric thought, male-oriented thought, not female-oriented thought. That is what is brought even by the Western European civilization. As we saw earlier, even the development of the Western canon of great literature, including traditional fairy tales, was a product of patriarchal ideology. All traditional fairy tales are product of patriarchal ideology. While biology determines our sex, male and female, culture determines our gender. Culture is the determination, that is the rod to determine the gender. It's masculine and feminine. These two terms are the product of culture. That is, for most English-speaking feminists, the word gender refers not to our anatomy, but to our behavior as socially programmed men and women. Culture has brought the difference between men and women. Culture has brought the difference between the patriarchal and matriarchal system in the world. It is not by birth. That is what feminists think. I believe like a woman, for example, submissively, this is the writer says, not because it is unnatural for me to do so, but because I was taught to do so. This is what women thinks. Women thinks that women are women because they are taught, they are just given the education to behave the way they are behaving. They are not by birth women, right? In fact, all the traits we associate with the masculine and feminine behavior are learned, not inborn. All these traits, these characteristics, these features are female features are learned. They are just not inborn. They have got, right? That is the difference. Fifth point, all feminist activity, including feminist theory and literary criticism, has as its ultimate goal to change the world by promoting women's equality. Feminist idea, main motto of learning feminism, the theory of feminism, criticism of feminism is nothing but to change the world by promoting women's equality. Women also must get equal position like that of the men. It is not to attack only to men. It is to gain the power. It is to bring the equal power, equality even in the lifestyle of women, and to bring women in the equal position to men and to run the life. Thus, all feminist activity can be seen as a form of activism. This is making women active. Let women come in the world. Let them not stay within the four walls of the house. Although the word is usually applied to feminist activity that directly promotes social change through political activities such as public demonstrations, boycotts, voter education, registration, and the provision of hotliness for rape victims and shelters for abused women and the like. Though these words are there, only action is to bring activism. Only main goal of feminism is to promote women, is to empower women equal to the men. Although frequently and falsely portrayed in opposition to family values, feminists continue to lead the struggle for better family policies such as nutrition, health care for mothers and children, parental leave, and high quality affordable daycare. These are all related for the female's life, for the female's quality, right? Daycare is not for others. See there. And the parental leave, that is for children, and mother and children's care, that is for both family, not only for women. It is also for men. Affordable daycare, that is for male also, not only for female, right? Gender issues play a part in every aspect of human production and experience, including the production and experience of literature, whether we are consciously aware of these issues or not. Gender issues are very important part. This is human production, human experience. This is applied in day-to-day life. And those human experiences, human productions, human behaviors that is reflected in the society are produced in the literature, are reflected in the literature, consciously or unconsciously. These issues are there, right? So this is what traditional feminist gender roles, and this is all about gender rules, traditional gender rules. Thank you. You can read and enjoy.